My name is Sara Jane Ho.
Open question versus closed questions.
To me, etiquette is about finding the best way to achieve a goal.
Sara, thank you so much for being here at SCAD and for really teaching our students so much today.
It's been an incredible experience to come here, and SCAD is so impressive, and I'm so impressed with you.
Thank you. I'm so impressed with your school because I feel like, well, we're both educators, but you really saw a need, and then you've been writing curriculum and you've been, honing the important things to teach.
Yeah, a lot of people think that they think of etiquette as stuffy old manners, but actually what I was trying to do was really redefine etiquette.
Yes.
And that etiquette changes with the times. It changes depending on who you're with, what country you're in, and what context. I really see etiquette as the utmost form of wellness. It's a way to genuinely promote healthy individual growth.
Congratulations on being nominated for an Emmy in your first season, and I hope we're going to be seeing more of Mind Your Manners. So what is your role on Mind Your Manners besides being on camera?
It was really intense. Probably the most intense and rewarding thing I've ever done in my career. We shot for about 2 months, and it's unscripted, right? So it's reality. And so everything you see on it is real. I mean, every emotion, every high, every low is a real high, a real low. And I was actually coming up with all the classes, so what we would do for each student, because every person has their own journey and their own reason for coming to my school. And in this case, it was one-on-one. So I would think, oh, well, Ileana, she has trouble reaching her goals. I want to take her to go do archery. And then literally the team would be like, okay, let's find out where we can do archery in Sydney.
But that makes it so interesting because you're not just staying in one place and you are introducing things that may seem far afield, but yet they're very applicable. I mean, I think, it's brilliant, all the ways that you're teaching. You really are an educator.
Thank you. Actually, I really like that term. Mm-hmm. Because I feel that what I do is more than just etiquette. I see myself as really serving my students.
You're brave.
Their fears, their dreams.
I've read about the beauty and poise that Jacqueline Kennedy had, and it's attributed to riding, and I know you're an equestrian also. What's the connection between riding and etiquette or presentation or demeanor?
I'm so glad you asked this question. I mean, riding is so much more than just you and the horse. It's a whole culture and it's a whole spirit, and I like to think of it as horsemanship. It's a sense of dignity, it's a sense of self-respect. Posture.
Calm hands.
Absolutely. And you're also on a 1,600-pound wild animal that you need to tame. And you really learn to conduct yourself and carry yourself in a respectful way.
Well, college students that you were with today, they're going to make this big transition from being a student to being a professional. What are some tips or, do not do this that you would, that you would advise them about?
Some of the things I shared today in the workshop, which I think, at least from seeing their faces and them nodding and, seeing it sinking into their little minds.
They were so attentive.
Well, yeah, they were actually a really great group of students. They asked great questions. So, for example, when I told them you should dress in a way that's professional, that you can still have your own style.
Yes.
But if you want a guide as to how to dress, look at your boss. And a lot of times, especially when today we talked about nailing the interview, right? Dressing is important, but also grooming, personal grooming. So that's hair, skin, nails.
And you talked about mirroring today.
Yeah. And mirroring it's actually very fun. So for example, if you're in an interview and let's say the person your interviewer is leaning forwards, right, has their hands on the table, you can mirror. If they raise their glass and have a sip of water, you can, don't necessarily do it exactly at the same time. You can wait a second or two and then take a sip of water as well.
So with SCAD and the professional presentation studio that we have for students, we're really encouraging them to have practice in situations like a cafe or an airplane, sometimes where you can't really prepare that much, as well as other opportunities like giving a speech or an award ceremony where you're accepting an award. What advice do you have about preparing for circumstances that maybe are not anticipated as well as ones that are?
Yeah, that is a great question. I actually visited SCAD yesterday, and I was so impressed to see an actual elevator booth.
Elevator pitch.
And and the airplane seats, because that sort of role play is so key, and it's hard for a student to understand or to really kind of do that role play unless they're put in the situation. So I was impressed. So when I was an interviewer on Wall Street, and we were interviewing college students to see if we wanted to hire them, we often said, we want to hire somebody who we can be delayed in the airport with
Yes,
for 5 hours and not be sick of them.
and find them interesting.
Right. Yeah, so I think energy is very important. So it's important to just relax.
Between texting and TikTok, this generation conducts small talk with their thumbs. How do we get this generation to look up and engage?
I think it's really just up to parents. And that's why my etiquette school is for mothers, for adult women, instead of for kids, because I think so much begins from the home. And when you see a child and how they behave, how they interact with people, it's actually very telling of how they were raised. And I actually think you could open a finishing school in Savannah. I mean, I would send my daughter to you pronto, or when I have a daughter.
Well, I think it's about warmth and some of the same philosophy that you've been talking about, the, courtesy, mutual respect, and thinking about things, taking actions becoming habits becoming your life. It's kind of becomes your lifestyle too. So you're teaching so many people in so many ways, and I'm so grateful that you came to SCAD. I think we'll be friends for years now, and I hope we'll do other things together.
Thank you, and I look forward to coming back.